All right, we are live for another Thursday's Top Tips in Real Estate. And guys, we go live every Thursday with a new topic, and local realtors and lenders come on here and they want to share their brain with you on these real estate topics. Real estate has been insane right now. If you guys have watched any of these videos, you guys know, but we have just come on here to educate you guys on each of the topics, and today's topic is going to be pretty spooky. We're going to talk about scary situations in real estate since Halloween is only a few days away. And I think it'll be a great topic because as we tell you about all the things that are going on in real estate, and just in, I mean, each week we have a really great topic, but all of the things in real estate going on, I think it's very important to be aware of those scary situations that could come up and how to be proactive in handling those situations when they do come up. And if you have a trusted professional on your side, then those scary situations will not seem so scary after all. So we will get into this topic, and we run this meeting each week in 3 different parts. So the first portion, we always have everyone speak their mind on the topic, and then we have like a little discussion afterwards. It's always a great little portion of the video, great way to start off the day. And then we go into the second portion, which is their top tip of the week, because this is Thursday's Top Tips in Real Estate. And then the third portion is any announcements or anything coming up that they want to share with you guys. So if I didn't say who I was, but I'm Lucie McGuire with Arrow Title Services, in case you didn't know already, and we're gonna get this scary party started. So let's go. First, we have Alannah. And Alannah, what do you have to share with us today?
I'm so glad we're having this conversation today. I have a bank, Alannah with EXP, also known as the Slayer of the Insurmountable. So I ended up in this situation that was truly scary. Blood curdling. I got a phone call after represented a buyer, and we got to the finish line. And about a week later, I got a phone call from my client. And my client was sharing with me that when they went to turn on the water for their property, they ended up getting the invoiced bill. It took them a couple days to notice, and they realized that they were being charged way too little. And when they called, they found out that the property they thought was on public water was actually on a septic tank. And that's not a scary thing in itself, a septic tank. But when you think you're buying one thing and you end up buying another thing, we went through the entire process over again. We looked at every piece of paper, every document, everything that we had on our side lined up. And we ended up having to break the news to the other side that this was an error on their part that was wrong. And not only the seller's disclosure, owner allegedly didn't know about it, owning it for 4 years. It was a truly scary situation. So we ended up having to put that in the hands of professionals and attorneys to go through every step of the process and make sure that I did everything. I had to explain a whole lot that ended up closing well, getting taken care of and handled. But boy, in the moment, it was truly scary. So one of the things that can make sure that's never the case, that I ended up learning out of it, even though it wasn't my responsibility to go that deep down their rabbit hole, I had the opportunity to then learn where to go find that information so that I can make sure that was never a situation a buyer I worked with went through again.
Great situation. Thank you for sharing, Alannah. In the beginning, and a little parts you were cut off, but I think it added to the spooky situation. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for having me. Might fall off here.
That's all right. That's all right. All right. So next up we have Jessica. And what spooky situation do you have for us?
Hi. So the spooky situation I have, thank goodness, has never happened to me, knock on wood. But because I specialize with new construction homes, I want everybody to avoid this potentially spooky situation. Although the home is brand new, it's beautiful, it has that new house smell, get an inspection, okay? you don't want to go through your house, and I've seen a picture where there's like a vent on the wall and you take it off and it's just a wall. There's no vent. There's no AC vent there. There's no nothing there. It's just like there. So it's like, what's supposed to be there? You know what I mean? So even though this house is brand new, you're getting a brand new construction home. People make mistakes. Sometimes they're big mistakes, sometimes they're small mistakes. And, you know, at the end of the day, it costs money. So although some of the new home sales associates may say, no, you'll save money. No need for an inspection. It's okay. It's brand new. Get it. Get the inspection, because you just never know what you can and cannot find. And you want to avoid a spooky situation of having a random vent on a wall, and you don't know what's supposed to be there. So definitely invest in getting an inspection, no matter what type of home, new construction, resale home that you get. Okay.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you, Jessica. All right. So next spooky situation, we're going to go to the lending side of things. So Tony, on the lending side, I'm sure there's a lot of spooky things that can come up, but what are you going to share with us today?
Yeah, there are numerous. I got two quick ones. One actually came up just right before this as well, but one of the biggest is when you all of a sudden hear, so when we on our side as lenders or banks, we pull credit for you. At the same time, a lot of times, if you're someone that freezes your credit report, oftentimes you're going to hear your lender is you're going to have to unfreeze that report again or keep it unfrozen until, you know, the final process. Reason for that being, there are triggers that if you go out and you get your credit pulled and you open up a new account while you're in the process of purchasing a home, we're going to find out. So those things will come up and you will get asked about them. So, and if you go out and purchase a new car, if you open up a new credit card to get new furniture, to get new appliances for this home, that stuff will be found out. And oftentimes now we have to take whatever that is and apply it and use that into what's called your debt to income ratio. So oftentimes, if you're going out and purchasing these big items prior to closing, your loan officer should be telling you on the front end, hold off on doing anything. However, not always the case, and sometimes often forgotten, but don't, because it can be a huge thing to make you all of a sudden, when you have this brand new furniture and now all of a sudden you can't qualify to move into your house. So, I mean, the furniture only fits in a truck for so long before it's going to get wet and ruined as well. So make sure, be patient, hold off on those things until you're done. The last thing I want to share, can I share my screen by chance?
Of course.
So this one here, I just went. Can you see this by chance?
Yes. And the pumpkin.
You got it. Yeah, I set that one up. But so this today, you can actually see down here, my timer was today at 1:30. I was online and in a mortgage loan officer group that I'm on social media. This is something to pay attention to, folks. Obviously, I blacked out the mortgage company's name, but as a client, realtors, you probably heard of this, of your clients saying they got bombarded with phone calls and text messages once your preferred lender has pre-approved them. What are they to do? What's real? What's not? So be cautious is more what it is. As you can see here, read this in a red. This guy here, he actually pre-approved them. Luckily, I talked to him actually later, and they called him first. But seconds after he pulled their credit, the clients were getting this text messages from another mortgage company. As you see, hey, Paula, here at Blank Mortgage about your application. Your file was sent to me to apply some additional discounts and structure a better loan for you. However, this person has never pulled credit, never seen anything. So speak with who you're speaking to and make sure to know who you're working with. This stuff happens. It's called what they call trigger leads, and you're going to get flooded with them, unfortunately. It's unfortunate that this has to happen, but just be prepared, because you don't want to get talked to in the wrong way. And this is why, as we discuss on this thing all the time, not putting anybody down, but this is why we say work with somebody local. These are online call centers that they're just sitting there, and as soon as your credit gets pulled, they're calling you on a dialer and getting in touch with you ASAP. They do not have your best interest in mind. They are just simply trying to get you on the phone to try to tell you that they're going to do better than whoever you just spoke with and get you going that way. So just be careful.
Absolutely. That's a great point, Tony. And thank you for bringing that up, because I think a lot of people get deterred very easily in these situations, and we as the professionals want to make sure that they're not doing that. And a lot of people just get very misled very easily. So it's
100%. Those people, the thing they're going to do, whatever their kind of approach is, hey, what rate were you getting? And as soon as that person tells you the rate, they don't get the full picture and scenario, and they say, oh, well, we can beat that rate. And it's simply just to get that mindset. And it's unfortunate because it's a work on words, and it's not giving you the full picture. And it's sad, but unfortunately that's what they're there to do, and that's what they've made money off of. You just trust who you're working with locally and being referred to.
Absolutely. We've said that so many times over the weeks. All right, we're gonna go back to the realtor side of things. And Cody, what do you have to share with us today on a scary situation?
Hello, Codi with Bourgeois Real Estate Group. I'm going to share timelines and addendums. Make sure that you have a realtor who is following up, because I will finally, hopefully, and hopefully be closing on this property tomorrow, that I have 7 addendums to because of timelines not being met. Things coming down to the wire. You got to make sure these lenders are digging into, like what Tony said, these lenders are digging in so much. If there's any loans out there that you took or anything you co-signed for or anything you paid for, they will find it. They're going to want to know all the information that can hold up the whole process, that could potentially stop the deal. You got to make sure that you are prepared for all of that. Make sure all your paperwork is in order, all your finances are in order. Make sure that you're following the timeline to get, the things that you need to get, insurance, the whole 9, because, and then also, following how these addendums are written as well, because, there's a situation where, because of how the addendum was written, had we not followed up the way we did, this person could have potentially lost the deal, been sued. It's just crazy. You have to make sure that you're following up and following these timelines and paying attention and being prepared so that you don't lose the deal, especially after, and this one's taken 4 months now. So just be prepared and follow up.
Absolutely. Great advice, Cody. And it definitely doesn't feel good to be stuck in a scary situation like that. But when you have the right professional on your side, they make it less scary. So you'll get through it, and I'm sure you'll get to the closing table tomorrow. So we will go to Katey now. Katey, I'm sure you have something really great to share with us today.
I hope so too. Hello, everybody. Katey Bourgeois with the Bourgeois Real Estate Group. Happy Halloween. Enjoy the kiddos this weekend. I hope you're giving out goodie bags or whatever. Have fun with it. So I love that the inspections were brought up. And I actually have 4 topics that I'll run through really quickly. When you're doing an inspection and you're helping the buyer do their due diligence, it is super important not only to look at the water source and have that buyer actually go to the source rather than you being the messenger, in my opinion. Let them get the information directly. With water can come mold. So mold is like, oh my God, it's a 4-letter word in real estate. We all try to avoid issues with mold. Had a specific interest party interested in on the buyer side, interested in buying a home, and we did the inspection and found that there was some mold-like substance in the air conditioner. Well, they went a little further and we found it in the air ducts. Went a little further, they did an air quality test. This house was terrible. So thank goodness we were able to find that during the inspection period, and we pieced out that was a bad situation, and that seller had to remedy that issue in order to sell to another buyer in the future after that. In addition to mold-like substances or mold, Another scary situation, termites. So I personally had this on the buyer side where they're buying a beautiful home. They have their inspection done. And as a result of that inspection, they had a pest inspection and they found termite droppings in the attic. Well, they recommended tenting and this and that and chemicals. And we got into this negotiation back and forth with the seller. And the seller went and had a second opinion. And it turns out that there were no termites. So needless to say, that particular pest control company is no longer on my source of resources list. And they weren't chosen by our office anyway, unfortunately, which is a bad situation. But the scariest part of that situation is that there was another issue that we could have probably negotiated had we not had the termite problem or the threat of that problem, unfortunately. So bringing me to my other point about disclosures. Oh my God. So a disclosure is only as good as the time that it was written and who it was written by. So please do your inspections, please do your due diligence and follow your realtor's guidance on who to hire, how to hire. And you get what you pay for. If you only pay a little bit of money for an inspection, you're only going to get a little bit of information in my experience. The other thing that Tony was talking about, right? So you're getting all of these electronic messages. You're getting a lot of people emailing you during the process of purchasing your property. And when you get to the end, your day before closing or 2 days before closing, there's a lot of money that needs to be wired in order for you to close on that property. Please, please, please call the closing agent, which is usually, referred to as a title agent, a closing agent, or an escrow agent, to get and verify their wire instructions. There have been wire fraud cases locally, nationally, statewide. The criminals are getting smarter and smarter, and they're finding ways to dip into our pockets and to hurt people badly. When you are wiring $15, $20 or more $1,000, please confirm the bank account that it's going to as the recipient, and make sure that you're on the phone getting that code when you're wiring funds. Now, a lot of these title companies, and Lucy, jump in on the wire fraud. I don't know if you're going to talk about it, but it is so rampant, and there are so many thieves out there just vying for that money. They actually will hack email addresses and send you what looks like a very good email. And unfortunately, we've had some local victims of wire fraud. So please check, double check, quadruple check where that money is going and that you're talking to the person who's going to be receiving it.
Absolutely. Great topic, Katey. Topics, I should say, as always. And yes, I was actually going to talk on that as well with the wire fraud. So that is our department, and making sure that you guys are educated on what to do with your wiring instructions. In the beginning, we always do, if they are local, we try to encourage them to come to our office and drop off a check rather than doing a wire. If the case they do need a wire, we have those password protected instructions that are sent to you. We make you call us to get the password. And when we give you that password, we're obviously confirming who we're speaking with in that sense. And as well as that, sometimes when they're trying to navigate, those hackers are trying to look through your email and everything, what they'll do is they'll send you an email and say, oh, our wire instructions have changed. Our wire instructions will not change. Okay, so that is a number one thing to look out for. If someone's saying, oh, our wire instructions changed and they want to contact you and get your information, no, you call us. And you tell us, and we will tell you that our wire instructions have not changed. And due diligence. We made a video on our YouTube channel about wire fraud, and we send it to all of our clients. And we make sure that they know, what to do. And a lot of it is just double confirming, verify in every step of the process. You're not going to annoy us. We want you to call us. We want you to verify those instructions. So it's a very, very important thing, especially when you're talking about all of this money that you are handling. So another thing that I wanted to bring up about a scary situation is, I think it's a situation that I use a lot in my example of why title insurance is important. And I think it really brings it full picture for a lot of people. So story time. Let's say that there is a son and his mother has deeded the property to, we're going back 20 years. A mother deeds his property over to her son, and they end up signing with 2 witnesses, but they don't get it notarized. 20 years down the line, he is trying to sell his property he thinks he owns, but realizing he doesn't have a valid deed. So he has an invalid deed. The property then reverts back to the mother. The mother is passed away. So then that would then go split to all of the children. There was 4 children in this situation. So the money, or not the money, but the ownership of that property then gets split to all of those children. One of the brothers or sisters was in jail in like another state. The other was deceased, so it would go to their children. So it just keeps splitting until it's crazy. So when he realized he didn't have ownership of that property, he would have to get permission from all parties involved that own that property to be able to give him permission to sign the deed over properly to himself so that he could sell the property. And he would have had to do that all on his dime because he didn't get title insurance in that process. If he had gotten title insurance to begin with, it would have been done properly in the proper aspect. But because they decided to forego that, and even if it wasn't done properly, it would have been covered with the title insurance anyways. So he ended up not being able to sell his property because he didn't want to go through all of that and pay for all of those fees, and it's kind of just living. We don't know the situation now. It was actually something that happened in the last year or so, someone who had come to us about that. But those are real situations that are happening, guys, and title insurance is that one thing that it's a one-time fee that you pay. The one insurance you're paying one time for that's going to protect you for the entirety that you own the property. So if you own that property for 30 years, it's covering you for 30 years. And it actually, title insurance actually does go to your, if you pass away, then it does pass on to your heirs too. Fun note. So that's my scary situation to avoid and how you can avoid it. And thank you for all of the amazing stories that you guys brought to the table today on this spooky session. Does anybody else have anything that they want to add after hearing some of the stories that everybody else said, or things that you think might have been left out that should be addressed today? No? Okay. All right. Well, we always do such a great job. You guys are amazing. And if you guys are watching right now and you guys just missed our conversation about some of these spooky situations that you may come across in real estate, do rewatch this. You can always rewatch it on our YouTube channel, Arrow Title Services. And it's just always great with these local professionals on here. We really appreciate you guys coming on and sharing your minds with us. So you guys can also reach out to all of these lenders and realtors. You can go to the description of this video and find their Facebook pages and follow them, whether you're buying, selling, or whatever, doesn't matter. Follow them because they've always got great content on there. So we are going to go into the second portion of this live call, and that is the top tips that they have this week. So this is Thursday's top tips in real estate, and it's always a great tip that they share with you guys. So we're going to start it off with Jessica. What's your top tip of the week?
All right. So my top tip for the week. So usually in weeks past, my top tips have been, build a team. And I'm never going to not have that as my top tip. But today's tip will be, in order to avoid these spooky situations and you have to spend that extra money, do it. Because in the long run, the title insurance that you were just talking about, Lucy, the extra inspections. In the short term, it might seem like, oh my gosh, more money that I had to put down to buy this freaking house. Yes, do it, because in the long run, it's just going to be pennies, especially when there's going to be an issue coming up. Oh, it's covered. Here's a problem here. Oh, it's covered. It's fine. So just go ahead and spend the extra couple of bucks, even though it might not seem like that right now, but just do it, spend the money, and it'll be less worryation. That's my grandma's word on your mind. Okay. Worryation.
I love that, worryation. And what a great point too, because you have to put it into perspective. If it's an extra $100 and the house is costing you $250,000, what's $100? Okay.
Right, exactly. I mean, once you like celebrate to buy the house, you know, you go to happy hour, that's $100 right there. So just put it towards the house. Just do it.
There you go. You can still do happy hour though.
Right, exactly.
Love it. All right. And Alannah is back. So Alannah, what's your top tip of the week?
Alannah with EXP here. Sorry, guys. My top tip of the week, I'm trying to catch up here. I'm just going to stick with the classic. I ask lots of questions. Ask lots of questions. If there's anything you're unclear about or have any misgivings about, ask your professional partners.
Absolutely. Always a good one. And Tony, lending side, top tip of the week?
If I'm giving the tip of the week right now, so to end this week, if you are a current buyer under contract that has not locked your interest rate, lock away, because the election's coming up, and leading up into election week, once we get started and once the election's over, it doesn't matter who's voted in, but during that process, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. So we're going to see the market kind of doing a lot of funny things. It was doing that actually leading in up to this week, ending last Friday. Rates kind of started seeing a little climb, whatever else, nothing huge again, but a little climb. And it was due to the fact of all these talks of the new stimulus bill coming out, or stimulus package coming out, I should say. And when a stimulus package comes out, just being honest with people, once that's released, we're going to see rates go up, because the stimulus package is going to stimulate the economy. When the economy is doing better and the stock market's doing well, typically when the stock market's doing well, mortgage bonds and mortgage rates are going the opposite direction. So right now, leading into the election, things have stayed flattened. The stimulus package, as we know, is going to be on hold until the election is done with, but you have a few days left. If you haven't locked in, it's best to get locked in before you're saying, oh, well, not to say your rate's going to go up a ton, but the pricing of that rate you may have to pay for it. So just be prepared, get locked in before election day happens, because we're going to be on for one of those fun rides as always.
Absolutely. It's always a fun ride. That's a great tip, Tony. Thank you so much for sharing that. Codi, what is your top tip of the week?
Well, you can't let a couple $100 cost you a few thousand. But I would say, hire a local professional. Make sure that you have a team that's on the same page. Things go so much easier when everybody knows everybody and everybody knows how everybody works, and it's just so much easier than dealing with people you don't know. So, hire a local person and make sure you got a good team.
Absolutely. And those people that know you are going to work harder for you because they have your best interest in mind. Someone out of state who don't know you and don't know about your 12 kids don't care. Just kidding. You don't have 12 kids, Codi, but
not me. No, I'd be in the straitjacket. Me running around.
Oh gosh. All right, Katey, what's your top tip of the week?
Hey, you know what? I think it's pretty much been covered. I was going to say, buy local, shop local, work with a local realtor or mortgage lender. I say it every week. Absolutely. I think maybe one other, tip might be, we're talking about inspections and in the pace of this market, probably not going to get a lot of negotiations done. So how about introducing a home warranty option into your purchase? So whether the seller pays for it or, you get one at closing as a gift or something like that, maybe, talk to your local experts about getting a home warranty on that property in case some problems come up after the fact, in case there's a spooky situation or scary situation after closing that, isn't part of our job, but, a washer or dryer goes out or, the AC goes out unexpectedly. Maybe a home warranty will cover you if you've spent all your money doing all the extra stuff getting into the house and you're strapped for cash. Maybe for the first year you have a home warranty, and they're fairly inexpensive, depending on the level of coverage that you're looking for. So maybe a home warranty. Katey Bourgeois with the Bourgeois Real Estate Group.
Thank you, Katey. Always, that's great advice. And that actually brings me to my top tip of the week, which is advice is free. Okay, guys? If you guys have questions about real estate, we try to answer your questions here live every week with a new topic. But if you have specific questions about real estate, do not hesitate to reach out to me, any of the local professionals on here, whether it's about, buying, selling, about lending, about title, about whatever it might be. Reach out to us and ask us questions, because I have had I've had people come out to me and they've said that they've been through the process, and when they ask their professional about a specific part of the process, or maybe what these fees mean, and some of them have gotten, people that seem annoyed with them. I will tell you right now that all of the people on this call right now, their best, they want to help you. And that's why these people are on here right now. They take an hour out of their week, their busy real estate week, to share with you guys these tips and everything. So they automatically already care and want to make sure that you guys are making the right decision. So just choose someone who is going to be there for you and want to answer those questions for you. And I can vouch for any of the people on this call. So advice is free. And, if you're buying a house too, your realtor does not cost you money, okay? The seller pays for your realtor. I feel like people really don't know that. They really don't. They really don't. So
it doesn't matter how many times we say it. I'm excited for them to absorb it today. Absorb it.
It is free for you.
Built into the price. You're not going to get a discount from going direct. You're going in with someone who doesn't have your best interest in mind. You need someone to represent your best interest. You need your own agent.
Absolutely. And that point, Katey, the fact that if you go to someone by yourself, and let's say it's a for sale by owner, like that doesn't mean you're getting a better deal. Doesn't mean you're getting a better deal. Look at Katey's like, that's a spooky situation.
That's a scary
situation. Woo!
How scary.
That's a scary situation right there.
Yeah. I mean, we are in this every day, guys.
They don't know what they don't know. That's what makes it scary, unfortunately. And when there are unrepresented buyers with unrepresented sellers, it's the blind leading the blind.
Absolutely. And we get it. We know that some people have gone through scary situations with maybe a little less professional people, and it's ruined their experience. But I will tell you right now that if you work with the right people, you will not have that. All right, guys? So keep it less spooky. You guys, thank you so much for coming on here. Thank you for, listening to us each week. If you guys are just logging in now and listening to this live, go back and listen to all of the great information that we talked about on this call today. We do go live every Thursday at 2 p.m. with a new topic. And announcements. Does anybody have any announcements that they want to make? I forgot that portion. Yes, go. Let's go. Katey, go.
Hey, we are hosting an open house at 2401 Sherlock Lane in Port St. Lucie. It's in the Sandpiper area. We had a price adjustment on that property, so it's $289.9. Come see us between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. We are doing an in-person open house, of course, and then we're also doing a virtual open house as well. So we'll be going live on Facebook in the Facebook event, LinkedIn, through any of the online resources. Just click virtual open house and you'll see us go live in the property. You can ask questions or come to the property.
Sounds great. Love it. Anybody else?
Me? So I actually don't have an announcement this week, but I'm going to put everybody on ice because it's something coming up very soon. So stay tuned. That's my announcement. Stay tuned.
Ooh, I love coming soon or stay tuned. Makes people come back next week at 2 p.m. All right, go ahead. Alannah, do you have one?
Oh, I'm all under contract. I'm ready for you. If you're ready to list now, I am newly available. Let's put you on my calendar today. Give us a call. We're ready for you.
Love it. Love it. Anybody else got
Nothing
anything?
to report anymore.
Love it. All right. Well, guys, we will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Remember, you can watch the replay on Arrow Title Services YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe to us too. Yeah. And don't forget to check out these amazing local professionals and their Facebook pages. All right. In the description of this video. We will see you guys next week. Have an amazing rest of your week and happy Halloween.
Take it easy, guys.
Lucie, everybody go vote.
Please go vote.
Go vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.